Good morning, and welcome to another vicious episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your vindictive and invective host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay, I will apologize for my last diatribe. I don't want to burden everybody with my personal demons. But this particular outlet, or this series of screeds, is not only political satire and social commentary, but I also use it as my own personal way of purging my own demons, problems. Cathartic system. And I just tell the whole universe what the hell's going on with me, because I'm very important. So maybe I will remove that, I don't know, but let's go on. Woke up this morning, probably around 6 a.m., looked on the computer, nothing. Went back to sleep. Woke up again at about 7:30 and looked on the computer and nothing. So I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again at 11:30 a.m. PST. And everything is falling apart. I have a lot to talk about. I won't be able to do it all in one diatribe. But apparently, Petri Dish is reaching a tipping point where he is about to be dumped over the side, in with the rest of the chum into the ocean. What's happened? Well, they found more documents. And they realized that these documents were not secure, and these documents were being administered by a Chinese operative. Not that they were Chinese, they were from communist China. Okay, now they're starting to get into the diamonds and paintings and corruption and money and who had access to what, and it's a big mess. So the president did the honorable thing. He announced his resignation. Now, which president did that? The real president, the one who's been running the show, is going to resign, Ron Klain. That is who is in charge, because Petri Dish doesn't have the mental capacity to fix lunch. So he's in charge of nothing, but he's going to take the fall. Ron Klain is going to resign. That is a very obvious ploy which Democrats use quite often. They've used it in the Clinton administration. When the heat gets too high, people resign and you start all over again. It's a great way to live. I wish I could do that. I wish I could resign and start with a clean slate. But no, I have to keep going with what I have, what's happened in the past I have to deal with. And so I was browsing through the channels and browsing through the content, and I see that there was a mass shooting in California. No one really knows what the motive was, and apparently it has to do with a bunch of Asian shooter, Asian victims. So we'll see what that's all about. It's probably just a personal vendetta, but mass shootings are a dime a dozen now, so if they think they're going to get everyone's attention distracted by having mass shootings, they're sorely mistaken. But what is going to happen with Petri Dish? What's going to happen with this document business? Investigations is what's going to happen. And that's synonymous with nothing. Nothing is going to happen. It's got to come to the point where serious disasters, calamities, and catastrophes will have to befall us before we finally wake up and go, all right, things are bad. It doesn't matter what Petri Dish does, or his no-account son, or any of his clueless staff, or corrupt staff, or what Davos does, or what Q-Tip Schwab does, or what the CEO of Pfizer does. It doesn't matter, because you just have to investigate it, and then it all goes away, because the investigation will go into 2055. So I'll be 98 years old, whatever. Maybe not that old, but 96. Okay. Just browsing through other channels, I wanted to see what Chuck Todd, or Todd Chuck, whatever his name is, had to say, because he's going to have to keep on spinning until he spins himself right into the insane asylum, because it can't go on. He was trying to desperately say how transparent and cooperative Petri Dish has been, whereas Orangey was fighting it all the way, covering it up, obfuscating, stonewalling. No, it's the exact opposite. So forget that. I think that it's come to the point where we have to either arrest people for disinformation or have them removed from the public forum. Behar, Chuck, Upchuck, all those guys have to go, because they're just full of nonsense, and we can't be listening to it. They can't be allowed to speak. If they want a public forum, they can start a YouTube channel, and I hope they get 10 subscribers. They're disgraces, they're disgusting. I can't stand any of them. But it's all coming to a head for Petri Dish, and the president is going to resign, the real president. Petri Dish may serve out his term, which will be another few months, because that's when everything will be coming to an end. Now, what else is going on? Okay, we have reached the debt ceiling. We're going to ignore it until June. Both tribes are intractable. The Goppers will not raise the debt ceiling unless the D's agree to cut spending. Oh, what else is going on? The border keeps on going. They have found 38 terrorists since October. So that's a really good plan by Petri Dish. You open up the border, and that way it attracts the terrorists, and then you can capture them. So maybe his strategy is correct. If you have an open border, then it's easier to net all these people. And I'm sure they're capturing all the terrorists that cross over. If they're not vetted and turned over by the cartel to the U.S. government, then they will certainly be caught at the border by the Border Patrol and ICE. And they will probably be deported back to Mexico so they can try to sneak in again, even though they came from Yemen or Saudi Arabia or what have you. Now, it's going to be an interesting month. The end of January, going into February, we're going to see absolute mayhem in every facet of our lives. And I'm glad to see it happen. It's one thing about being a fatalist. It's more personal stuff, but when you're a fatalist, you kind of are trepidatious about paying your bills, because it's like, why should I? It's all coming to an end. And I've had that attitude for a few years now, especially since I've had free reign to pretty much not be accountable to anyone. No wife to have to explain why I don't have any tips today. Just lose them, and I'll deal with it later. I have my own soul, or whatever you want to call it, my own life condition to deal with it. So I can be my own judge and jury, but the fatalism can be bad for your overall budgetary fiscal health. Just an aside, I'm going to go on and on about all these issues, so we don't have to do it all at once. These documents are all over the place. Everybody knows it. Now, since Petri Dish is so transparent and cooperative by sending his own lawyers to sift through the boxes that he didn't know were there, to sift through all the documents that he had here and there and everywhere. I don't know how many fireplaces are in his residences, but I would think if any real investigator went into the house, they would see a very clean fireplace, because the ashes have been bagged and taken away and incinerated at an FBI facility after they burned what documents they didn't want anyone to even hear about or see. I mean, that would be a great way. Let's see a few examples, a few little vignettes. Okay, I rob a bank, and they have a very good description of the suspect, and suddenly my house is surrounded by police cars, and they are coming at my door, and I open it up and I say, "Can I help you, officers?" You are under arrest for bank robbery." I say, "No, I have already hired my lawyer to investigate me, so you do not have to arrest me. It's all under investigation. I'm cooperating fully with my own lawyers to investigate whether I did this crime. So until that's finished, I will ask you to please leave my property. Thank you. Goodbye." That's what would happen if an ordinary person could do what Petri Dish does. Okay, this is another vignette. My house is burning to the ground. It's fully engulfed in flames. I call the fire department. My house is on fire. It's burning. Okay, we'll send an investigator. No, I mean, it's burning. I can see it burning. Please send a fire truck. Well, we will send the arson and chief investigator for fires over there to make sure that it's on fire, and then we'll go from there. And it's like, by the time the guy comes and investigates, my house is going to be cinders. Well, we need to ascertain whether or not your house is fully on fire before we commit a truck to come and put it out. So there you have it. I mean, I'm going to be talking about all this crap over the next bunch of months until the conflagration comes and everything goes kerflooey, and then we have nothing. So I don't have to do it all at once. I wanted to get a bunch of snippets of this and that in here. Petri Dish is doomed. You cannot call him a lame duck. He is a dead duck. And I mean that rhetorically. He's absolutely over, no matter how you slice it, because it's all coming out. The D's don't have a stranglehold on every aspect of our lives right now. They don't have a stranglehold on Twitter. They don't have a stranglehold on information. They don't have a stranglehold on the government. And I'll give some advice to the goppers right now. First, your grade is going down to D+, because you're not doing it fast enough. You're not doing enough. You don't start all over. Just because you got put in office doesn't mean, well, we'll start again. Petri Dish has done nothing to investigate. We will start with a clean slate and see how many times he sins between now and whenever. And we're not going to use impeachment as a political weapon. You wusses. God, I'm sick of the goppers. I would use impeachment as a weapon. He would have impeached 10 minutes after the Gops took the oath of office if I was in charge. If I was at McCarthy, he would have been impeached 2 weeks ago. And he should be impeached over and over and over again. The charges, you can't even count them all. Come on. Anyone with half a brain knows it. So we're going to delve into all this stuff a little more carefully and a little more in detail as time goes on. Because if you want to rely on Joy Behar and Todd Chuck for your information, then remain in whatever delusional world you live in. And when the crap hits the fan, don't act surprised. I'm not going to feel sorry for you one little bit. I'm going to laugh my head off when the biker gangs come and take your house and throw you to the street. And you look around for the police. It's going to be a great day in what used to be America. So there you have it. It's very easy when all this news comes out. Look how fast that 15 minutes went by. All right. Enjoy what's left of the day. And thanks for listening. I think this was a pretty good one.